Yeah, like I was saying, you probably, if you want to be of the children, then you had that right to be of the children, and you better be a hell of a wannabe. Shalom. Oh, I need to make my holder. I wanna, I wanna use. I like red birds. I see a lot of red birds when I get revelations from the Holy Spirit, and I see a lot of red birds. But of course, well, what I always notice, their feathers. I probably seen. I probably can count on 5 fingers how many redbird feathers I probably done seen throughout my whole life laying on the ground. I really don't remember them. But I know it wasn't that much. And of course I'm not gonna get a feather off a bird that's already dead laying there. I want a fresh live feather. I want to make my roach holder out of fresh feathers. I like different colors. Blue is cool, but I want red. But I'm gonna have to get some practice on making me one. So of course all feathers is cool and a blessing. And is of the most high period. So when I was little, my daddy used to have one. I didn't know what it was though, but I used to play with it. I was like, dang, this is. It had a couple of little soft feathers on it, and right at the end was this little bitey thing. I'm like, oh man, what's this? But I don't never recall smelling no weed on my dad, so I didn't know what it was. Uh, but it seemed like when I did find out what weed was, it wasn't nothing new. It was like, oh, they smoking weed. When back in, that's probably the 80s. That was probably like the late 80s when we started kicking it with my mom's, my people on my sister's side, on the south side of Fort Worth. And that's on my mom's, not my mom, but my sister's dad's side. My daddy from Grand Prairie. All right. Um, and I think somebody was smoking weed because it was a different environment over there. They played cards and gambled. And when they played bingo at night. That's when my mom started doing that. Um, and then we kind of seen people selling dope, not on a major basis, but every once in a while a car might pull up. All right, another thing, we always was outside. We played outside, so I don't on the sidewalk and all that. At the abandoned house next door and stuff like that. You know, uh, and when we was at our house, we stayed on the east side um, of Fort Worth. When we was at our house, for one thing, our house set all the way back from the street. It didn't. It was like one or two houses on that street that did that set way away from the street. Uh, to where our mailman, he wouldn't even go all the way up to our door. He would leave like the little advertisements or whatever, rubber band right there on the fence post right there. But pretty much that's the environment we was at. We always stayed in the house. My sister had a best friend used to come down the street, and she could come in. They was like sisters. They still sisters, you know. Uh, and she would come, and that was our sister, and we would play. It would be They like my sister's 6 years older than me. The last time I checked, I'm 34 years old. So cool. All right. Uh, but in other words, it was a different environment. Make a long story short, that's when I first heard somebody, and I also smelled weed. I smelled it, and I was like, weed. All right, that makes sense. It sounds natural to me, and it smelled natural to me. So, all right, yeah, it wasn't nothing. I mean, weed, nigga, it's natural. So then, what I was saying, yeah, that was the first time, when I come across it to where I was able to identify with the herb. Um, and I forgot what I was saying to what I wanted to reference that from. Oh yeah, my dad. So I never did smell that. So, and that's coming up as a little dude from what I can remember. And he used to always stay in the garage and talk on the CB. That was one of his hobbies, and he worked on cars. And but the CB was like one of the main things. The CBs and cars, and he would be in the garage area, and Mama be going to work. My sister probably be doing an activity at school or something. So I stayed in my room, and I had to have an imagination, cause I would be back in my room every once in a while. Dad would come from the back with his little work uniform on, the blue with the name tag, and you hear the boots walking on the wood floor in the front room, and then he'll come check on you. He'd be like, "Is you hungry?" Or if I have a toy or something, and now he was kind of persistent on that. I needed some batteries. He would go to the Radio Shack and get them inner cell batteries, the metallic inner cells. Yeah, that's what I grew up on. But anyway, um, but other than that, we never really sat down and conversate. This as a little kid, so he was there, and before he started using the stronger drugs, I say it like that, the stronger wines. Before he really got on that, and when he got on that, I didn't even know. I didn't even understand, cause hell, he didn't come. We never sat down. I pretty much ain't never met him, straight up. But I never did meet him. He never did present. He never did. You know. But so it ain't like I grew up knowing, yeah, I know what weed is, and I know all the concepts of that, or, I know how to use the herb. I know why you use the herb. I know how you feel, or, all the questions and the know-it-all of what our herb is. So I didn't grow up knowing that. But it came to me like, hey, like, it only made sense. Shalom. But anyway, let me see if I can. I'm gonna get another blast here, and then we're gonna go somewhere else. Travel somewhere else. If I think my camera give me like 34-minute sessions, then it cut out. I'm kind of new to this camera, so. And I ain't gonna know when I run out. Then I have to upload them on my PC or whatever. Then this battery been running down real fast here lately too, but the charge is up probably out. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Ah, snap, snap, snap. What happened? How did it happen? My water bottle got a hole in it all of a sudden. It's one of those kind of thick plastic, this size boys, yeah. Personal water, water holder, put it like that, personal size. Alright. They say I got 20 minutes. We're at 12. Shalom. Alright. We're going to do New Age. We're going to do the so-called New Testament. She would sit at the king's right hand and take the crown from the king's head and put it on her own. Hebrews. And slap the king with her left hand. At this, the king would gaze at her with mouth agape. If she smiles at him, he laughs. If she loses her temper with him, Shalom. We'll go from the beginning. I'm reading out of the book of Hebrews. This is a King James version from Nelson. Is in their words, Hebrews, this Bible, the year it was made. Let's see if I can find that. 90. It says copyright. Copyright. Let me see if it's focusing in right. Look like it's not. Anyway, copyright 1990. Boy, it looks ugly. It ain't focusing in. Copyright 1990 by Thomas Nelson Incorporated. Alright. We'll go from the beginning. Hebrews chapter 1. I am the Most High, who at sundry times in divers manners spoke in time past unto our ancestors, the Abbas. Spoke in time past unto our ancestors, the Abbas, by the prophets, having these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he have appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds, who being the brightness of his glory, and the express image of his person, and upholding all things by the word of his power, when he had by himself purged our sins, sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high, being made so much better than the spirits
See, I believe the word angel is a bad word. I believe every time you see angels, sometimes damn near, and see, I believe that when the words were getting changed around, Satan used that word, and of course, and then they would say, well, we'll call them this, and have this to we got to think of one word that describes both of them. So I believe that's how they came up with angels. But every time you see the word angel in the book, I believe it's talking about the fallen angels, and Satan and his army. But mostly, of course, the main fallen angels, them, when you see that. And you'll know if it means good or bad, but most likely, I think when you see it, I want to say in the New Testament compared to the Old, but probably so. When the more you when you see it in the New Testament, I believe it's the fallen angel. But of course, you gotta read and know that it's not always good. So that's what I'm pretty much saying. When you see it where you think, oh, the angel, that it's good. I don't even like saying it, because it has a G in it, which can be spelled out with the fishhook letter also, because the pronunciations are similar, pretty much the same, and it ends in EL, and I don't like that L. I don't like that word, because I believe that's saying the devil when you say EL. All right. What did I leave off at? Being made so much better than. All right, let's try it real quick. Being made so much better than the fallen angels, as he have by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. Name. More excellent name than they. All right, let's try it again. Being made so much better than the Horos spirits, as he have by inheritance, as he have by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they. He obtained a better name than them by inheritance. The ruddiness, the bloodline of Hesse, the bloodline of King David, of Solomon, that bloodline, the ruddy bloodline, the short built. All right, as it is written, my brothers, Psalm 151. My brothers were taller than me and more handsome than I, but my heavenly Abba wasn't concerned with that. I tended my dad's sheep. My fingers fashioned a harp. He made a harp, which I want to try to make one of these days. And I think he said my hands fashioned a lyre. I don't know what a lyre is. When I hear lyre, I think of a flute or something. But I'm gonna have to look in the dictionary and see what a lyre is. And see, it's a blessing. Okay, I kind of hate saying okay too, because I've been seeing the K kind of used like overexertly around.